killing of Renee Nicole Good in Minneapolis on January 7th has rallied opposition to Trump's use of Immigration and Customs Enforcement, we call it ICE, to arrest and deport illegal aliens. Opponents call ICE Gestapo agents and their activities fascist attacks against their innocent neighbors. Was the killing of Renee Nicole Good an act of self-defense, or was it an act born of panic and a lack of training? Are ICE operations justified? What are the facts? Welcome, Patriots, to Common Sense for America. I'm Bruce Rutherford, coming to you from the beautiful Westwood Golf Club in Houston, Texas. If you're watching on YouTube, hit that like button and subscribe. Now let's dive in. There are estimates that there are over 20 million illegal aliens in the United States, largely due to the Biden administration's inattention to the southern border. Everyone who entered the U.S. illegally, and everyone who entered legally but has overstayed their visa or violated the terms of their visa has broken the law, and they are subject to arrest and deportation. Some percentage of those illegal immigrants, some say as much as 5 to 10%, are violent criminals or terrorist agents of foreign governments. Now that's a lot of bad people we need to find. But the corollary to that is that maybe 18 or 19 million people of those illegal aliens are not bad people. Most of them have not broken any laws other than the immigration laws which make them criminals. And now they're paying taxes like good Americans. Most of us who are citizens do not see the need to deport illegal immigrants who are not otherwise criminals. But the law demands their deportation as illegal aliens. The Constitution requires that the President of the United States, quote, and I quote now, "take care the laws be faithfully executed." Certainly, ICE is the agency charged with this law enforcement. Now here's what's happening on the ground. In July 2025, Congress passed the One Big Beautiful Bill Act and gave ICE $75 billion over 4 years. With that money, ICE has arrested 328,000 people in the past year. But here's the shocking part. 73% of the people currently in ICE detention have no criminal conviction. Only 5% have violent criminal convictions. Now think about that. We're spending billions to arrest people with no criminal records while real criminals are still out there. Now, state and local law enforcement are not required to cooperate with ICE. James Madison explained why in Federalist number 45. He wrote, "The powers delegated by the proposed Constitution to the federal government are few and defined. Those which are to remain in the state governments are numerous and infinite. The 10th Amendment reserves to the states or to the people powers not specifically granted to the federal government in the Constitution. State and local law enforcement are not required to cooperate with ICE." James Madison explained why in Federalist Paper number 45. He wrote, "The powers delegated by the proposed Constitution to the federal government are few and defined. Those which are not remain in the state governments. They are numerous and indefinite. The 10th Amendment reserves to the states or to the people powers not specifically granted to the federal government in the Constitution. But state and local law enforcement could cooperate with ICE, at least to some degree, if allowed or instructed to by elected state and local leaders. It is illegal for state and local law enforcement or private citizens to interfere with ICE in the enforcement of federal law. Citizens who attack ICE agents, who damage and destroy ICE equipment, are breaking federal law, and they are subject to arrest and prosecution. Elected leaders who incite citizens to resist or interfere with ICE's duties are inciting disobedience to law and civil unrest. Those state and local leaders are doing very serious damage to their communities by inciting violent disobedience. They themselves may be prosecuted for inciting riot. Martin Luther King preached and used nonviolence, not just because of his religious beliefs, but also because he knew it would win over the middle of America to his cause. It was his best strategy for the success of his movement. Opponents of the administration who encourage, if not incite, violence towards ICE agents will lose middle America. The Democratic Party will be tarred with that black brush just as it was by calls to defund the police. Most state and local law enforcement agencies in the country are cooperating with ICE by turning over to ICE violent criminals who are illegal aliens. That's how it should work everywhere. ICE should be instructed to pursue cooperation with state and local law enforcement relentlessly. ICE should withdraw from the streets of Minneapolis. Now, in return, Minneapolis should cooperate with ICE. ICE should restore its 5-month training program and include training to avoid the mistakes of the Renee Nicole Good killing. The 47-day training program in use today is totally inadequate. Ms. Good was clearly interfering with ICE officers. The officer in question had last year been dragged by a car and severely injured. That driver was interfering with ICE agents in the performance of their duties. Did this memory cause the officer's adrenaline to spike and affect his judgment? Did he fear for his life? It certainly appears so. Ms. Good should not have been there in the first place. Would she have been there if not encouraged by local leaders? It seems a perfect storm of bad decisions and bad conditions that led to Renee Nicole Good's death. Trump needs to cool it with ICE. Stop sending them into the streets. Win the cooperation of local law enforcement. Most importantly, implement an amnesty program that would give illegal aliens with no criminal record time to become legal residents in the U.S. and eventually citizens. Now, I suggest giving those who surrender themselves voluntarily 2 years to become legal residents and 5 years to become citizens. If at the end of 5 years they are still not citizens, they will be deported. Those who do not surrender and are later arrested for some offense will be deported immediately. Now, this is just common sense. Congress needs to act to make it clear that non-citizens will not receive Social Security benefits or Medicare or Medicaid benefits. States should change their laws to deny unemployment insurance benefits to non-citizens. States should not allow non-citizens to vote, and states should not give a driver's license to a non-citizen. All this will create great incentives to become a citizen. Again, this is just common sense. Now, the Republicans need to put forth these plans and programs to win the support of Middle America and the independent voter. Failure to do so imperils their chances in the midterm elections even more. Democrats need to distance themselves from the voter rhetoric, from the violent rhetoric of the left of their party. Failure to do so could cost them the midterms. Now, only yesterday and this morning, we see in the news that Trump is already heeding our advice, not because he's listening to us, but because he's doing the smart thing. He has pulled back his Border Patrol leader and sent in one of his trusted advisors to negotiate with the governor of Minnesota and the mayor of Minneapolis. And he's pulling his agents off the streets. Trump is pivoting from his previous strategy to one that we have advised in this video. Now, I applaud President Trump and his administration for pivoting like this. This is the smart thing to do, and I hope it bears fruit. I hope we get quiet on the streets of Minneapolis and in a couple of other places where there's been some unrest. But more importantly, I hope we get a very effective use of ICE and its enforcement in apprehending violent criminals and getting them deported. What do you think should be done about illegal aliens in our country? What do your friends think? Please let us know in our comments section. I hope you'll join us next time when we examine the issue of Greenland and the U.S. I call it Greenland or bust. Until then, God bless you and yours, and God bless America.